What's the key, Coach, in stopping a team that runs a quarterback 20, 30 times a game?
Well, it's tough. They do a really good job with that, and they have their whole offensive line back. So we're going to have some issues. We have to load the box up a little bit, bring the extra safety down in, and try to counter him.
In terms of technique, it seems like when they're at their best, a lot of times it's just like they're building a wall, lean on it, take their 3 and 4 and go on. Are there technique changes that you try to make to counteract that?
No, we'll try to penetrate gaps, get up the field more, try to get in the backfield. We've had success with that the last few years with negative plays. But the quarterbacks do a really good job. They're patient, and then when they find their seat, they'll go. I think Delton obviously runs a little better than Thompson, so we have to be ready for that.
This would seem to be a tough matchup for Giovanni Stewart. His size, maybe some of the double tight end stuff you'll see in Texas or Oklahoma also. But is this a tough matchup with his size for the quarterback power stuff?
Yeah, it is. It is. So Shea and X-ray will be called upon more. Maybe a little more 4-down stuff there as well. So we have to do a good job of mixing that up. And then when we do use him coming off edges, maybe going through gaps, that kind of stuff.
Hot passing, you feel like you've defended it pretty well. I know it's a lot of these coordinators say it stretches the rules a little bit with downfield blocking. You guys feel like you've defended it pretty well?
I thought last year we defended really well. And you have to pick and choose. Obviously, if you're in man coverage, that's the best thing to be in. If you're in any kind of zone, they do it. Your linebackers get out of position. It's tough on the deep safety that's trying to get down off the roof to defend it. So, you just have to pick and choose when you want to be in man and when you don't. Obviously, the quarterback run, if you're in man coverage, you got 4 or 5 guys locked on, running down the field. The quarterback breaks the line of scrimmage and in trouble. So.
Is it beneficial? I know when they had time, does that help when you run that play? Be able to see?
Yeah, to be able to see over top. Thompson's not as big, obviously. So, and then the other thing too, breaking them down. They haven't done as much of it. I don't know if the new coordinator has kind of scrapped it, but they will do some more RPO stuff on the outsides. I think that helps the quarterbacks a little more out on the perimeter and throwing them in the field.
You're preparing for Bill Snyder team. What do you know you're always going to get, and then what's the biggest challenge?
Well, they're going to be physical. They want to run the ball. They're not a team, I don't think, that's going to be able to 4 and 5 wide tempo yet, like the rest of the Big 12. I think they're more, I think Hunter mentioned earlier, double tights, fullbacks, tight ends. We're going to see a lot of things. And then they're going to be physical, trying to control possessions and block.
You had mentioned that you told Shea that the Youngstown game wasn't any type of punishment, but a way to get Giovanni in there. But how has Shea responded the last week?
Really well. He's had a good few days of practice, and he's ready to go. So I wouldn't hesitate to put him in.
You know, with Pat White and Steve Slate going into the Schools Hall of Fame this weekend, just wondering if you have any memories of watching them and maybe your thoughts on what they mean to the program.
I had a lot of good ones. Avon as well, so I was here with him. All 3 of those guys they were dynamic with the ball in their hand. Glad they were on our team. We didn't have to defend them. So the Louisville game sticks out more than any of the past. And then probably the Sugar Bowl.
Is it beneficial catching these guys on the front end of the conference schedule versus playing 4 spread teams, then going K-State for a week and then back into the spread tackle?
Yeah, it does. And if you really look at Youngstown, a lot of the stuff Youngstown was doing, run game wise, it was a lot more K-State. So mobile quarterback that could run a little bit, so it's a good carryover.
Back to what before about the Hall of Fame guys. Avon was part of that transition from Don to Rich. What do you remember about him helping that transition to a different style of play where you guys want to play?
Yeah, well, he was just a team guy coming from an eye with the fullback leading for him all the times with the one-back stuff that we were doing then. He was just a football player. It didn't matter, I don't think, system-wise what he was in, just the explosive plays he could make. He was really, really good.
A lot of Kenny Bigelow's teammates really just rave about his positive attitude and how hungry he is pretty much every time he's on the field. How much has that helped your defense, and how much of a trickle-down effect have you seen that across your entire
Yeah,
unit?
it's helped a lot. Just get the mature guy in who's played football and he's on his last chance. And, this is it for him. And he's put a lot of work in to get to this point, and I think it's helped that room so much. And not only the D line, but the linebackers, the safeties, the corners. But he's just such a positive guy. And comes to practice, comes to work every day, works his tail off in the weight room. So he's a great teammate. I'm glad that we have him right now.
Philosophically, is Kansas State similar to Tennessee and Youngstown State in the way they generally go about approaching offensive football?
Yeah, they're going to run the ball first and try to take shots, get you one-on-one outside, double moves, different things like that. A lot of the stuff that we've been preparing for is totally different than the rest of the Big 12.
They had a really good fullback who did move along with his dad. I don't think one has a carry or a touch so far. I haven't seen one very often.
Yeah, they're using their tight ends more, and then they're also using two tailbacks. They went to that this past week. So, we're going to be ready for a little bit of all that with both tailbacks in the game. And they ran some counter stuff. They'll still break out option every once in a while. They'll do some good things with them. So,
Scout teams, your roster, I guess, is better situated. Preview those looks.
yeah, you're talking about we.
Yeah, your scout offense. Your scout offense one or two movies.
Mm-hmm.
Tight ends, fullbacks, 7 on.
Yeah, we have Beast Jack, Bill, we have Drummond, Joe Thomas. So we got a lot of guys that are able to help us and give us great looks. So it's been good. We may be short on wideouts once we get into the rest of the Big 12 schedule. But fullbacks and tight ends are pretty good right now. A lot of bodies.
Would have thought, okay.
Yeah.
How much pressure is on your linebackers to make the right call playing a team like K-State?
Yeah, a bunch. And if you look back at last year, that was probably David Long probably played his best game as a Mountaineer last year at their place. He was all over the field. Al played well. Tonkery played well. So we put a lot on those three last year, and they got it done. It scares me a little bit going into this game. Inexperience of our Sam linebacker. Tonkery and David, they know what to expect. But those Sam linebackers, they're in for a whole other, they haven't seen this kind of offense. And downhill run game that we're going to get. And with the extra hat of running their quarterback so much.
So how important does Draymond become against an offense like that at the Spurs function?
Yeah, very important. And Toyas as well, man. We have to use all those guys down in the box. And, which is going to put a little more pressure on our corners, which is going to put a little more pressure on Kenny back at free. So we have to play assignment football. This is just like playing an option team. You have to make sure you do your job. Because if you don't, they're going to kill you the quarterback.
In terms of bringing a junior college guy along, could there have been a better scenario than getting Keith a bunch of snaps and then having an off week to reinforce and see him more on?
Yeah, Keith is, obviously we're pretty high on him after the Youngstown game. We gave him player of the game. He's had a good week and a half of practice getting ready. I think his confidence is up right now. And to get to go against Marcus every day in practice, and David, and Gary, and TJ, I think it's really helped him. He's getting better and better as every day goes on. So we like where he's at. We think he's going to be a big part of what we do from here on out. And all four of those guys are going to play a bunch.
Tony, is it almost like coaching two defenses, play Kansas State one week and Texas Tech the following week? And how difficult is that transition from one to the other?
It's difficult. And I would much rather play K-State now than 2 weeks from now. So just because we haven't seen that 4 and 5 wide stuff that we're about to run into the gauntlet here in the Big 12. Right now is the best time to play K-State. Coming off of what we've already seen, what we've prepared for the last few weeks, and going into this week, it's an easy transition. If we would play Texas Tech before then I think we'd be a little different.
Tony, what's the toughest part of being a coordinator, just in general, not this game, just every game?
Pressure, no sleep, A lot of different things. I wish I could lose some weight, but I don't know what it is, but no, it's just, there's obviously good and bad with it. The bad part is when they don't play well, you take full responsibility on you. It's, the good is when you execute the game plan, obviously you want to win. So, you know, I've done this a long time. This is my 23rd year, 18 at this level, and there's a whole new, I guess, well, once you get to being a coordinator calling it, there's a whole new level of pressure. I know what those guys have been through now. It's year 5, so you're getting used to it now.
Dana was saying there's more similarities between these teams than you might think on the surface. To what extent do you see that?
Well, I just think the physical part of it. You know, obviously 2 years ago, we ran the ball a bunch. We controlled the clock a bunch. We weren't as wide open. So I think that part of it. I think our discipline is much better. And you know, K-State is a team that's not going to kill themselves and not make a lot of mistakes.
Get back to the game 2 years ago, beat them 17-16, get Mr. Fiddle. Basically beat them at their way they wanted to play. Was that a big point maybe for your program to be able to win a game, or you didn't win a shootout, or to win a tough defensive game like that?
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they've won 4 straight. And beat us.
We're a fourth quarter lead too.
Yeah, and
Double digit, yeah.
yeah, and we did that with, you know, just like what we talked about. We ran the ball, we were patient. We had some big plays on special teams that day. You know, we didn't have a lot of penalties. Played smart at times.
Synergy maybe with all 3 units.
Yeah, I think that was really good. And that year, obviously, we were clicking early. That was the year we won 10 games. And
Yeah.
had our first win over that team. I mean, that was a big for us that day. And I thought it gave us a little springboard in the rest of the year. Gave us some momentum. And last year's game was, I just watched the first 5 possessions of that game started on our side of the 50. So, and they got 3 points. So if we can do that again this week, I'll be really happy.
You mentioned their line. They've given up a bunch of sacks already, which kind of probably better quarterback. How much attention do you give that relative to your Sam? Does that factor into playing time?
Well, I think a little bit of that plays into they got down in both the first 2 games. They were down double digits and had to start throwing the ball with a little more 10 personnel. Then Mississippi State got up on big, same thing. And Mississippi State's a kind of a different animal. They didn't have to blitz. Their DNs were winning on the outside and getting pressure. And at UTSA last week, they gave up a couple early in the game. But if we could get them in a situation where they have to go 4 wide, we all know that they don't. That's not what they want to do or like to do. So that would be great for us if they would get into 4 wide and just turn it into a throw game.
Fumbles have been a concern for them. Coach Snyder brought it up. Do you do anything technique-wise this week?
Yeah, we do it every week. It'd be nice for us to get a fumble. We forced 4 last week or 2 weeks ago, didn't get any of them. So we need to start getting them. But we do a strict drill we do a turnover circuit every day in practice to start. So we'll continue to do that. At times, 34 he had 3 in the first game. Lost 2 of them. So obviously, our guys need to be aware and try to punch the ball out of every time.
You mentioned possible playing some more 4 down. How comfortable are you with that look now?
Comfortable. Still, don't know how people want to attack us. The one advantage that we lose when we go to 4 down, everybody does it. So teams are used to it. It's really not a big surprise for them. When we get in our stuff, it's different for people. So we'll kind of see how the game flows. See what we need to do if we're struggling against the run. That's going to be my first go-to. Is to get an extra big guy in. See what happens.
Okay, thanks, Coach.